You wake up one morning and lift the grocery bag like you've done 1,000 times before. But this time, your arm feels heavier. Your legs feel unsure. And for a brief second, you wonder, was it always this hard or did something change? You brush it off. You tell yourself, I'm just getting older. That's what everyone says, right? Later that day, you're walking down the hallway and your foot catches the edge of the rug. You don't fall, but your heart jumps. You grab the wall and laugh it off, even though inside you feel a quiet fear. Am I becoming weak? You ask yourself, and then almost automatically another voice answers back, this is just what happens after 60. That belief, that quiet, unquestioned belief, is where the real problem begins. You hear it everywhere. Friends say it. Family shrugs it off. Even doctors sometimes say it gently. Muscle loss is normal at your age. You nod, you accept it. What else can you do? But here's the truth, and it may surprise you. Muscle loss after 60 is common, yes, but it is not inevitable. Think of your muscles like a savings account. When you were younger, deposits went in easily, you moved more, you ate more. Your body built muscle without much effort. But after 60, withdrawals start happening faster. You lose small amounts every day, standing less, moving less, eating lighter meals. And the biggest mistake, you stop making deposits altogether. No one tells you that part. Inside your body, things are quietly changing. After 60, your muscles don't get the same strong build signals they used to. The hormones and messengers that once said grow, repair, stay strong, start speaking more softly. Signals like insulin, like growth factor and mTOR, think of them as text messages to your muscles, don't arrive as often. At the same time, low-grade inflammation creeps in. Not dramatic, not painful at first, just enough to slowly wear muscle down. It's like termites in the walls. You don't see them. You don't hear them. But one day, the structure doesn't feel as solid anymore. You notice it in small moments. Getting up from a chair takes more effort. Climbing stairs leaves your legs tired. You hesitate before lifting something heavy. You might even hear a loved one say, "Let me get that for you." They mean well, but it stings. And that's when the fear sets in. If this is happening now, you think, what will I be able to do in 5 years? Here's where things take an important turn. Because the real issue isn't your age. The real issue is missing signals. Your muscles are still listening. They're just not being spoken to in the right way anymore. Your body hasn't forgotten how to build muscle. It's simply waiting for instructions, especially early in the day, when repair systems are most active. Morning is when your body decides what kind of day it's going to have. Protect or break down, build or conserve. And most mornings, without realizing it, you send the wrong message. You skip breakfast, or you grab something light, toast, fruit, a little coffee. You think, at least I ate something. But your muscles feel differently. Research on sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, shows that muscles don't shrink just because of years lived. They shrink because they're not given the raw materials or the signals they need to stay alive and strong. It's not time that weakens muscle most, it's silence. And here's the hopeful part. The part no one tells you loudly enough. When muscles receive the right signal, they respond. Even after 60, even after 70, even later than that, you start to realize something important. Those weak mornings aren't random. That shaky feeling before noon isn't just age. It's feedback. Your body is saying, I need something you're not giving me. So here's your first simple action, and it doesn't involve the gym, supplements, or drastic changes. Tomorrow morning, pay attention. Before noon, how do your legs feel? How steady are you when you stand? How tired do you feel doing ordinary things? Those answers are clues. But before you can fix the problem, you need to see the real mistake, the one almost everyone over 60 is making at breakfast without even realizing it. And once you see it, you'll never look at your morning routine the same way again. You sit at the breakfast table and look down at your plate. It looks clean, light, healthy, maybe a slice of toast, a bowl of cereal, some fruit, coffee on the side. You tell yourself, this is enough. At least I'm eating something. But what if that light breakfast, the one you've trusted for years, is quietly starving your muscles. You've been taught that eating less is better as you age. Don't overdo it. Keep it light. Watch your weight. So you follow the rules. You eat small. You avoid heavy foods. You think you're doing the right thing. But later that morning, you feel it again. That hollow weakness in your legs. That tired feeling that settles in before noon. And you wonder, why am I so drained already? Here's the myth that's been repeated for decades. As long as you eat something in the morning, you're fine. But the truth is quieter and more uncomfortable. What you eat matters far more than if you eat. Imagine trying to rebuild a brick wall after a storm. You show up with no bricks, just air. You wave your hands and say, "I'm here. I'm trying." That's exactly what a carb-only breakfast does to your muscles. Inside your body, muscles are made of building blocks called amino acids. These are the bricks. Without them, repair simply can't happen. And when those bricks don't arrive in the morning, your body doesn't wait politely. It switches into survival mode. Instead of building muscle, it starts breaking muscle down, using your own muscle tissue as fuel to keep blood sugar stable. You don't feel it happening, but hour by hour, small pieces of strength disappear. You might hear your inner voice whisper, "Why am I losing weight when I'm eating?" Or, "Why do I feel weaker even though I'm careful?" This is why. Your body isn't being nourished. It's being negotiated with. And mornings are critical. After a night of fasting, your body is especially sensitive. It's listening closely for instructions. Do we rebuild? Or do we conserve? When the morning meal contains no real protein, the message is clear. There's nothing coming. Use what we already have. What we already have is you. Here's where it gets painful. Emotionally, not just physically. You notice you're asking for help more often. You hesitate before carrying laundry. You plan your day around how tired you expect to feel. Someone might even say, "You should rest more." And you nod, even though deep down you don't want to rest. You want to feel capable again. This isn't about willpower. It's about signals. Your muscles need a very specific trigger early in the day to stop breaking down and start rebuilding. That trigger is protein. Real, usable protein, delivered when your body is most responsive. Morning protein flips a switch. It tells your muscles, "You're safe, resources are here. Build." That's why studies consistently show that adults over 60 actually need more protein per meal than younger people. Not less. Smaller meals mean each one has to work harder. Yet most breakfast plates over 60 are almost completely missing the very thing muscles need most. Toast, jam, juice, cereal. They look comforting, familiar, but they send the wrong message. And there's another quiet consequence. Without enough protein in the morning, energy dips come faster, balance feels off, joints feel less stable. You start the day behind and spend the rest of it trying to catch up. So tomorrow morning, pause before you eat. Look at your plate and ask yourself one honest question. Where is the muscle building signal? Not the calories, not the habit, the signal. Because once you see what's missing, something shifts. You realize this isn't about eating more, it's about eating smarter. And here's where it gets interesting. Because there is one simple, natural food, something you've seen your whole life, that can flip your muscle building switch back on almost immediately. And when you learn what it is, breakfast will stop being a routine and start becoming a turning point. What if I told you the solution isn't expensive supplements, fancy powders, or a gym membership you'll never use? You've probably stood in a store aisle staring at tubs of protein powder, wondering, do I really need this now? Or maybe someone told you, at your age, you should drink protein shakes. You nodded, but inside you felt unsure, a little resistant, a little tired of being sold another fix. Here's the myth that keeps circulating. I need shakes, powders, or special formulas to rebuild muscle. But the truth is simpler. And honestly, more comforting. Your body recognizes real food better than anything made in a factory. Think of this one food like a master key. Not a single-use key, but one that opens several doors at once. Muscle repair, bone strength, hormone balance, brain support, all from something familiar, something your body understands deeply. Now imagine this moment. You're standing in your kitchen in the morning. The house is quiet. The day hasn't demanded anything from you yet. You open the refrigerator, and there it is, eggs. You've known them your whole life. Maybe you grew up eating them. Maybe you've avoided them for years because someone once said, "Watch your cholesterol." And that's where confusion usually sets in. You might hear that old voice in your head saying, "Just eat the whites. Yolks are bad." So you separate them, toss the yolk aside, and without realizing it, you throw away the very thing your muscles need most. Here's what's really happening inside your body. Whole eggs deliver complete amino acids. All the building blocks your muscles require. Not some of them, all of them. They also contain leucine, a powerful amino acid that acts like a green light for muscle repair. Leucine doesn't whisper. It tells your muscles clearly, it's time to rebuild. And then there's the yolk. The yolk carries healthy fats and fat-soluble vitamins that help those amino acids actually get used. Without the yolk, it's like sending construction workers to a job site without tools. You might hear your inner skeptic ask, "Can something this simple really help me now?" That doubt is normal. You've been told for years that aging means decline. But research shows something surprising. Whole eggs stimulate muscle protein synthesis more effectively than egg whites alone. Not supplements, not powders. Whole eggs. This is where many people feel a quiet shift inside. A mix of relief and regret. Relief because the answer isn't complicated. Regret because no one explained this sooner. You might remember mornings when you skipped protein entirely, or times you avoided eggs out of fear. You didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't have the full picture. And the benefits go beyond muscle. As you begin adding whole eggs back into breakfast, your legs feel steadier, your hips feel more supported, your mind feels clearer. You stay full longer, not stuffed, just satisfied. Inflammation calms down. Energy lasts longer. You stop feeling like you're running on fumes before noon. You might even hear someone say, "You seem more steady lately." And this time, instead of brushing it off, you feel a quiet pride. Now, let's be practical. You don't need eggs every day. You don't need 5 at a time. Just 2 whole eggs, 3 to 5 mornings a week, is enough to send a powerful message to your muscles. But there are 2 mistakes that can cancel out the benefit. First, removing the yolk. That's where the signal lies. Second, overcooking at high heat. Burned eggs damage the nutrients your body needs. Gentle cooking protects the message. You start to realize something important. This isn't about forcing your body to change. It's about giving it permission. Eggs don't work like a miracle. They work like a conversation. A calm, steady message that says, "We're taking care of you now." But here's the part most people miss. Eggs alone aren't enough. There's one more step, something subtle, something simple, that determines whether your muscles actually respond or stay dormant. And once you understand that piece, everything you eat in the morning starts working with you, instead of against you. This is where most people miss the full benefit. You finally start eating better. You add eggs to your breakfast. You feel proud of yourself. And yet, a few weeks pass, and you think, "Why don't I feel as strong as I hoped?" That quiet disappointment creeps in. Maybe this is as good as it gets. But the truth is, you didn't fail. You just stopped halfway. Here's the myth that quietly holds people back. Food alone will fix muscle loss. It sounds reasonable. You eat the right thing, and your body should respond. But muscles don't work that way. Muscles need a conversation, not a command. Think of food as construction material. Bricks, cement, wood. And think of movement as the builder who actually puts those materials to work. You can deliver the best materials in the world to a job site, but if no one shows up to build, nothing changes. Inside your body, something very specific happens after breakfast. When you eat eggs, nutrients enter your bloodstream. Amino acids circulate, ready to be used. But muscles won't automatically grab them. They need a signal that says, "We need this now." That signal comes from gentle movement, not intense workouts, not heavy weights, just simple resistance, standing, walking, using your legs and arms. Without that signal, nutrients drift by unused. With it, muscle fibers open up like doors. This is where people often talk themselves out of success. You might hear your inner voice say, "I don't want to overdo it. I should rest after eating. I'll move later." So you sit, you stay still, you wait. And your body interprets that silence as, "We don't need to build today." Here's what actually works, and it's much kinder than you think. After breakfast, you stand. You walk for 5 or 10 minutes. You move gently, but intentionally. Maybe you walk down the hallway. Maybe you step outside and feel the air on your face. Maybe you do a few slow chair squats while holding onto the counter. Your muscles feel it immediately. Inside, insulin sensitivity improves, meaning nutrients are directed into muscle cells instead of being stored or wasted. Inflammation settles, joint fluid circulates, balance systems wake up. You might even feel a small spark of confidence. That wasn't so hard. And then there's another quiet helper most people overlook: magnesium. Magnesium-rich foods, like leafy greens, seeds, help muscles relax and contract properly. They support nerves. They reduce cramping. They help your body use protein more effectively. You don't need supplements right away. You just need awareness. This combination, eggs, gentle movement, and mineral support, creates a loop: eat, move, repair. Research shows that older adults who combine protein intake with light resistance retain significantly more muscle than those who rely on food alone. Not because they work harder, but because they work smarter. And the emotional shift matters just as much as the physical one. You stop feeling fragile. You stop planning your day around fatigue. You start trusting your body again, slowly, carefully. Someone might say, "You're up early today." And you smile because you didn't force yourself, you just felt ready. But there are 2 mistakes that can quietly undo all of this. First, sitting immediately after eating. It tells your muscles, "Stand down." Second, overexercising. Pushing too hard creates stress, not strength. This isn't about proving anything. It's about consistency. 5 minutes matters. Standing matters. Gentle effort matters. And now, something important is coming into focus. You're no longer just reacting to weakness. You're building a system, one that works with your body instead of fighting it. Now let's pull everything together, because once you turn this into a simple daily renewal plan, strength stops feeling like something you've lost and starts feeling like something you're getting back. Imagine waking up 6 months from now and noticing something quietly different. You stand up without bracing yourself. You walk to the kitchen without thinking about balance. You feel steady, capable, independent again, not because you pushed your body harder, but because you finally listened to it. You think back to where this journey started, the fear you felt when your legs seemed weaker, the myth you accepted without question. This is just aging. And how heavy that belief felt. But now you know better. You uncovered the truth that muscle loss isn't inevitable. You saw the breakfast mistake that quietly starved your muscles every morning. You discovered the simple, powerful food that wakes muscle back up. And you learned how gentle movement turns nutrition into real strength. Nothing dramatic, nothing extreme, just consistent signals. Here's the core truth that changes everything: your body isn't broken, it's under-signaled. For years, it's been waiting for permission, waiting for the right inputs. And when you give them, it responds. You might remember the first morning you tried this routine. You cooked the eggs slowly. You kept the yolk. You ate with intention instead of habit. Then you stood up. You walked for a few minutes. You didn't rush. You didn't force it. And later that day, something surprised you. Your legs felt a little steadier. Your energy lasted a little longer. Not a miracle, but a message. Keep going. This is where the plan becomes simple. First, eat real protein early, not someday, not later. In the morning, that's when your body decides whether to build or break down. Second, keep the yolk. That golden center isn't your enemy, it's your ally. It carries the signal your muscles recognize. Third, move gently after meals. Not to burn calories, but to tell your muscles, "We need you." You might hear yourself say, "That's it." Yes, that's it. Because strength after 60 isn't about intensity, it's about consistency. Think of this as an investment, not in how you look, but in how you live. Every steady step you take, every chair you rise from without effort, every moment you don't have to ask for help, that's the return. Now here's your personal challenge. Commit to this breakfast routine for 14 days, just 2 weeks. Notice how your legs feel when you stand. Notice your balance when you turn. Notice your confidence when you move through your day. You don't need perfection. You just need honesty. And if doubt creeps in, because it will, remember this: you didn't lose strength overnight, and you won't rebuild it overnight either, but you are rebuilding it. You might hear a loved one say, "You seem stronger lately." Or you might notice it yourself in a quiet moment, carrying groceries, climbing stairs, standing a little taller. That's progress, and it belongs to you. Before you go further, always remember to consult your doctor before making dietary or exercise changes, especially if you have medical conditions or concerns. Strength grows best when it's supported safely. Now take a breath. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not fragile. You have the power to rebuild strength at any age. And if this journey feels like your own, if these words sounded like your mornings, your doubts, your hopes, then stay connected. Like this video so more people can find it. Subscribe for guidance you can trust. And share this with someone over 60 who needs their strength back. Because sometimes the right message at the right time can change the way a body and a life moves forward.